Well, today's episode is going to be a very, very, very short one with just one review with the ChocoPro 316, which features, of course, the Super Asia Championship defended. So Hagane Shino will be defending that title against his own tag team partner, Chiko Shikawa, in order to, better improve their tag team since, Chi looks at Hagane as a guardian rather than just an equal. So Hagen is going to test her if she's willing to go that distance. But also, we're going to be having some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. There's some exciting stuff we're definitely going to be talking about. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome, everybody, to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So, let's begin with, of course, ChocoPro 316. Now, of course, Valinaki opened up the show as usual, giving the lowdown and information of it. But before we jump into the very first official match, once again, we get another exhibition match. But this time we have Nonoka, who is the brand new trainee, taking on once again Mei Shuga. Now, this is the third time that Nonoka was an exhibition match with Mei Shuga. The first time was at Mei Shuga's 50th anniversary at Shinjuku Face, and of course, just recently the last time. However, she's a bit more of aggressive, more than Mei Shuga, but of course, Mei Shuga's a bit more aggressive than her. So that kind of sets out. But I had a feeling that this exhibition match was going to go into a time limit draw. Surprise, surprise, it did. Now, our first match, we got Miya Yotsuba teaming up with Tokiko Kira taking on the Best Bros. Now, you all know this type of match, how it's going to be, because the Best Bros are the fan favorites in the tag team division in ChocoPro. It's always been like that. But however, this is Miya Yotsuba having a tag team match with Tokiko. Now, she has teamed up before with her, but that's in trios actions. So this is going to be a little more different than she previously did when she teamed up with her. So that's kind of like the case there. But one thing I did like about this whole thing is how, Mia has grown up a little more than usual. Now, keep in mind when it comes to wrestlers like Mia, who was one of the newer people, more like Nonoka, she has attempted to grow up. But however, she's yet to pick up her first win that we have seen yet. But in this case, this match ended with, of course, with the Best Bros applying the Dolphin Press, and boom, Mei Shuga pinned her student. 1, 2, 3, it's done. Now, our next match, we have a bit of another tag team match. We have Sayaka Obihiro teaming up with Masahiro Takanashi taking on Minoru Fujita and Shin Suzuki. Very interesting matchup in this one. Now, as you know, recently Masahiro Takanashi, he and Chris had to relinquish the tag team titles um, against Shin Suzuki and Shonchito, but Shon is not present, so he teamed up with Minoru Fujita, so which was a very unusual. But in this case, this match ended with Suzuki applying his finisher, more like it's like a backslide, but he's lifting his legs up to make sure that her shoulders do not move during the pinfall, and that's what happened. So Shin Suzuki and Minoru Fujita pick up the win. However, post match ended with, of course, Minoru Fujita attacking Shin Suzuki for no apparent reason. But Apparently, it was revealed his true intentions. It looks like he has an aim for, of course, the Asian Dream tag team titles. Now, Sean was not there, so the obvious question is who's going to be Minoru Fujita's tag partner. He nominated Antonio Honda. Now, I know in recent times Antonio Honda had been chasing those belts before with Tokiko when they're Black Komanachi. So this is a very unusual thing for Minoru for teaming up with Honda, but now seems like it's going to happen. But the obvious thing is when it's going to take place. Well, that's yet to be seen until they announce it. So we'll just wait and see until then. Now, our main event features the Super Asia Championship. This is a title that, of course, is the prestige belt within ChocoPro Got to Move. However, this is where now the test has become. Now, Chiko Shikawa has to put that side of her of being, looking at Hagane as her guardian. Now she has to focus of him as an opponent, but at the same time, she needs to stop looking at Hagane as her protector. That's always been what Hagane was not disturbed, but more like this is the reason we can't succeed as a tag team. You're looking at me as a guardian, but instead of an equal, he looks at the best bros that they're equal. He feels we need to be in that level. So basically, what better way is to see what happens with they facing off. And I have to say, she really, really, really surprised me. She went all the way the distance, tried, been more aggressive than she normally would. But what an impressive match. But however, Hagane actually put Chi in a submission, forcing her to give up. But of course, he accepted her, knowing now that she has grown up so much, saying that we have to be more equals. But I'm sure they will get another opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if they would challenge for the Asian Dream Tag Team titles in the near future. Now, for our Junkin tournament, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Banaki was out. So is Minoru's Fujita. But I can give you the details at the end. It became student and teacher again, Mei Shuga and Miya. However, Mei is the master. She won the Junkin tournament with the piece of chocolate. So it was a pretty good show. I have to say I liked it. So I think that's pretty much it right now with this. So let's move on with some news updates. Okay, welcome to our news update. So this is what we have today. Now, if you guys remember clearly of what happened, I mentioned on a report that Roosh officially quit AAA. Now, the initial thought was by many fans is that the reason he quit was because of his that he wants to get involved in the Forbidden Door. Now, keep in mind, certain luchadors who are currently signed with AEW are strictly forbidden to be part of the Forbidden Door due to the fact that they have close ties to AAA. So there are other wrestlers that were told that couldn't do it, other than Rush, Dralistico, who else? The Lucha Brothers, Bandido, Commander, and a few others. However, it looks like Rush quitting AAA left the door open for other people to follow. Now, recently, new reports came out that Bandido also quit AAA. So possibly the initial assumption now is that the reason he quit is possibly that he wants to participate in the Forbidden Door. So if that's the case, then that means other luchadors like Commander, the Lucha Brothers could possibly quit AAA in order to participate. Now, there's a lot of questions regarding of this. Doesn't New Japan and yes, but they have but AEW favors AAA to that. So that's the thing. So there's a lot of things, but there are those who are saying that they better off working with CM in the first place because they are one of the oldest promotions in all of Mexico. But we'll come back to that at some other time. Um, Fightful Selects reports that Moose, his contract with Impact Wrestling will be could end up this month. Now, if you guys remember, 2 years ago he did sign a new deal with Impact. Now it's still unclear now whether they're going to renew him or sign him a new deal. That is still yet to be seen until anything is announced. So we'll just wait and see. Prestige Wrestling has announced for an upcoming event in Missoula, Montana, for the No Act, No Cowboys, No Rules event taking place on the 8th of July. However, Tom Lawler was announced that he will be in that particular event. More info and update on Wrestling Revolver for their Texas event they will have also on the 8th of July for Texas Toast. Mike Bailey will be in action to take on JD Griffey. You may have seen him on Ring of Honor a few times. Canute Women's Wrestling that takes place on October 22nd. This is a new promotion that was announced. Two new names have been announced that will participate in this event in October. We have Natsumi Sumikawa from At-Risk Girls. Now, if you guys are big fans of the At-Risk Girls, then you guys now know if you should make a trip to LA and check it out. They also announced a wrestler I never heard of, but I don't know if you guys have, named Aspen Rose. So she'll be also participating. Ganbare Joshi or Ganjo has announced for their the 17th of June of this month for their show. Their 4 matches have been announced. We have Yoshiko Hasegawa teaming with Yuri. They take on Sumika Yanagawa and Misa Kagura from Just Tap Out. Rira will be in action to take on Amchan. Alex Lee and Miyako Matsumoto will be taking on Marika Kobachi and Echika Miyabi. And finally, Makoto will be in action against Tokiko Kirihara. Now, House of Glory has announced for their Plata o Plomo event later on this month on the 16th of June. Alex Shelley makes his return. Now, finally, this one I saved the best for last. Now, if you guys were watching GCW, their last 2 events they had, the Cage of Survival, Desperado has called out Jon Moxley. So there's going to be a tag team match taking place at New Japan Strong on Independence Day in Korakuen Hall. However, Moxley said that he'll be in a tag match against Homicide. But the obvious question does tell, who's going to be Despy's tag partner? That's the obvious question. However, this was a very unusual one I did not expect for his tag partner. Apparently, he went to see Jun Kasai. Jun Kasai was with his daughter. Of course, Despy gave her a present. So he asked him to listen, saying that he would like him to be his tag partner against Moxley and Homicide. So it looks like it's going to happen. So this is a very interesting thing. Now, we know that Jun Kasai and Despy has faced off before. So let's see how those two will team up together. So I have to say this is going to be a very interesting tag team thing between those two. So I think that's pretty much it what we have. I think it's time to call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we got the Unagi Sayaka watch. I have many things that took place recently from the late of May all the way to now. Some interesting things, review on certain matches that came out, and of course some developments that relates to certain things, and something very interesting. So we'll get all of that. I'm still haven't decided what's going to be for the next episode. Things have kind of been slow at the moment. I know I missed out certain events like the GCW events before Tournament of Survival and Cage of Tournament of Survival, and of course Cage of Steel or Survival or whatever. But anyway, I haven't decided yet. But we'll see what happens. At the moment, let's just I'll just wing it. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.